Well, welcome back. I decided to add one more video into the hole and pad series. Now, with the addition of this one, there are now 5 videos on holes and pads. This probably means that there are about 4 more videos than are needed to cover the subject, but, well, no one said that you have to watch them all. Anywho, if you hover your mouse over the drop-down arrows for the data fields in the hole and pad box, hold Control while clicking the menu to select Not Modify elements with that value. So let's do a quick demo about what that tooltip means. Now here I have a drawing with a bunch of pads with different outer diameters and different hole diameters. If these pads were strewn about my drawing and I needed to do a wholesale change on a pad of a certain value or needed to identify a certain value of a pad, I can use the drop-down menus to find them for me. This is a good feature, but it is poorly implemented in my opinion. So let me show you how it works and let me show you what doesn't work. Say I need to find all of the hole with square pads in my drawing that have a diameter of 0.1 inch and a hole diameter of 0.046 inches. Now I can come down here to the hole with square pad button like that and click on it. And then I can use the drop-down menu next to it like this. And I can see that certain selections are in bold text. Now the bold text items are telling you the values of all the hole with square pads that you have in your drawing. So if I want to select pads that are 0.1 inch with a 0.46 inch hole, I can scroll down here like this, then hold down the Control key and click on that value. And as you can see, all of the hole with square pads that match those values are now highlighted. Or if I wanted to, let me deselect those, I could come up here and I could select all of the 0.56 inch wide pads with a 0.029 inch hole, hold down Control, click on that, and now only those pads are highlighted. And that's really cool, but it doesn't always work that way. Now, as near as I can figure, this feature appears to work only with square pads. Now let me show you how it really works. Okay, let's say we wish to find all of the hole with round pads that have a 0.1 inch outer diameter and a 0.046 inch hole diameter. Now I can do it like this. I'll go up here and I'll select the hole with round pad button. I'm going to open the drop down next to it. And I can see all of my choices and they are highlighted in bold text. So what I'll do is I'll scroll down here to the 0.1 inch diameter pad with the 0.046 inch hole. I'll hold down the Control key and click on that. And you can see that all of the pads except the square pads are now selected. Now, why did it select the octagon and the long pads? I don't know. Ask ExpressPCB. Well, actually, I think I know why that happened, and I'll explain that later in the video when we design our own custom pad. Now, let me deselect those. If I come up here and I select hole with long pad and do the same thing, I'll hold down the Control key. Again, it selects the long pads, but it also selects the octagon and the hole with pad. Now, if I select the hole with offset pad button like this, and then come up here to the drop down by the height and width data field and select that, the first thing you'll notice is we have a lot more selections because we are now looking at every round pad that's on this drawing. But I can come down here once again to 0.1 inch, hold down Control, click on it. And now it selects every pad that has a 0.1 inch in its outer diameter description, including the square pads. And once again, I'm going to deselect this. And if I select the octagon pad button like this, and then come up and select a hole diameter of 0.046, it again selects every pad with that hole diameter. I think the reason that it does this is because every pad type has a round pad in it. I think all pads are built up from round pads as a starting point, and I'll show you what I mean when I show you how to make your own pads. And here's the really annoying thing, as if what I just showed you is not annoying enough. If I select a pad like this, let's go select, say, a square pad. And I've found all my square pads that I wanted in my drawing, but now I need to find another type of pad. and I go right up here and say, oh, I need to look for long pad like this. If I click on the long pad button, that highlighted square pad changes to a long pad. Let me reset that. So what you have to do before you go looking for another pad, this is just like when you're editing pads, is you have to click anywhere in the drawing and deselect that pad before you go look for another type of pad. Now you can stack search operations like this. Let's go select the hole with round pad. Come up here and click on that button. Now I want an outer diameter of 0.1 inch. So I'll come over here and I will click right here on the diameter of pad drop down. And I'll come down here and I'll select 0.1 inch. And you can see it's selected every pad that has a 0.1 inch outer diameter. But one set has a hole diameter of 0.046 and the other has a hole diameter of 0.035. But I want the ones with 0.035 inch diameter holes. So what I'll do now is I'll go to the diameter of finished hole drop down and then scroll down to 0.035, hold down Control and click that. And now only the pads with a 0.035 inch diameter hole are selected, but it did not change the hole diameter of the other set. Now I've shown you a few ways that this tool works, but there are many combinations of ways to play with this tool, and I'll let you figure it out some more on your own if you want to, or if you care to. Now this could be a handy feature, but it needs some refinement. You should be able to select the type of pad you want to find with the pad button, and then Express PCB should find only that type of pad with the dimensions you request. If I request a hole with round pad, I shouldn't get a hole with long pad, and vice versa. Okay, let's have some fun. Let's build a pad. Now, why do we want to build a pad? Well, because it will allow you to see why I think Express PCB Plus selects pads you don't want when searching for a pad, and, best of all, you can rotate your custom pad to any angle that you want. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a clean sheet of paper. So let's say you need a custom long pad for something, and you need to make a circular array of these pads. Now this could be for an odd component like a rotary switch, or maybe an array of LEDs. And we want to make the pad 0.56 inches wide and high with a 0.029 inch hole. Now I know I use those numbers a lot, and that is just because I like that combination. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a 0.056 inch hole with circular pad. So I'll come over here, I'll select hole or pad, come up here and select the hole with circular pad button. And then I'll come over here to the drop down and I'll scroll down until I find that value. There it is right there. And I'm going to place a pad right here. Now let me zoom in on this a little bit so we can see it better. Now we want to place a circular pad with the same outer diameter. So the first thing we have to do, remember, we have to go to Escape twice to deselect the pad we just put in. Because if we don't, when we come up here and select circular pad, our hole with circular pad will change to a circular pad. So let's select circular pad. And of course, it has the same outer diameter as our hole with circular pad. Now, I have to come back over here. I have to select hole or pad again. And what I'll do is I'm going to place a pad right here. And I'm going to place a pad right there. Now, the pad on the left didn't pop to where I wanted it. So I'm going to press Escape to get the Select tool. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to select it. And I'm going to drag it over one click like that. Okay, that looks good. Now I need to go to the Trace tool. So I'll come over here and I will select Trace. And you'll notice that the last pad is now deselected, which is what all tools should do. It should deselect whatever you just did. And then I'm going to go up here to the Shape box. And I'm going to go to this box right here, which is the thickness of tool or selected item. And this is where we're going to set the thickness of our trace. And we want to be on the top copper layer, and you notice we already are. So I'm going to do this. There is no 0.056 in the drop-down, as you can see. So I'm going to click in here. I'm going to do a Control-A. I'm going to type in 0.056, and then I'm going to hit Enter. Now I'm going to come down here, And I'm going to draw a trace from left to right, like this. And now I'm going to left click, and then I'm going to right click to stop drawing the trace. And cool, we now have a long pad. But the hole with circular pad will appear on both sides of the board, but our trace won't. And I can show you this by coming up here and turning off the top copper layer. And you'll notice now we only have a hole with circular pad on the bottom copper layer. So let me turn top copper back on, like that. Now to get the trace and the pads on the bottom of the board, do this. Go to the select tool, like that, press escape key, and then highlight what we've just drawn by drawing a box around it. Now we're going to do a Control-C to copy this. Now I can do a right click when I paste back in, and I can move my mouse somewhere and say paste here. But for this demonstration, we're going to do a Control-V, which will paste what we copied right over the original. So let me do a Control-V. Now I'm going to come up here, I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to pull it down like this. And while this copy is still highlighted, I'm going to come up here to the shape box, and I'm going to go here, and I am going to put it on the bottom copper layer by clicking there. Now I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to click anywhere to deselect it. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to make sure that it did indeed go to the bottom copper layer. Now you will note that there is a round pad in the middle of our copy. Now I think you have to erase this because you do not want a pad with a hole placed over another pad with a hole. So what we'll do is we'll come over here and we will select that pad like that. And then we're going to hit delete and remove it. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to select this again, and we're going to drag it up so that it is under the top copper layer like that. Then we're going to release. Now we want to select the whole thing again like that. And now we want to group everything together. Now I can do it this way. I can right click and I can say group, or I can come up here to the arrange box and say group like that. Or I can come over here to the arrange box on the ribbon and select this button, group, which is in the upper left corner. Or I can do a Control-G. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it right here in the arrange box. Just click on that. And now it's grouped. So if I go and grab it, I can move the whole thing around like that. And this means that if I select it again, I can copy and paste this. So I'll do a Control-C. I'll come over here. I'll do a paste here. Or, and this is really cool, I can rotate this to any angle that I want. But first I want to show you this. I'm going to turn off the top copper layer. And you'll note that now we have the long pad on the bottom as well. So we do have a long pad with a hole in it that is on both sides of the board. Now, of course, I could have left it on the top copper layer if I wanted only, and then the hole with pad would be on both the top and bottom, but we wouldn't have the other pads in the trace. Or I could have built this on just the bottom layer. It's up to you. Let me turn the top copper back on, and let me show you that we can rotate this. So I'm going to select this pad right here like that. Now let's say we want this pad at an angle of 34 degrees because we're building something for a rotary switch. So I'll come up here to the angle data field in the size and position box. I'm going to click in there. I'm going to do a Control-A. I'm going to type in 34. I'm going to hit enter, and my pad is at 34 degrees. And I can do any angle I want. I can do 256 degrees if I want. Kind of looks the same because I told you how pads rotate, especially pads that have the hole in the middle of them. But we can do 256 degrees. We can do any angle we want. Now I've got to be honest, I have never made a board with a custom pad like this, but I see no reason why it wouldn't work. It seems to pass all of the checks that are made when you hit order boards. And yes, you could save this pad as a part if you wanted to. And I will discuss how to do that in the video on how to design custom parts. Let me reset my pad back to 0 degrees. Now you can skip this next part if you want, but as an aside, let's take a look at why I think a long pad can say it is 0.1 inches wide, but it'll actually be, say, 0.25 inches or whatever wide. Now the answer, at least to me, is pretty obvious when we designed our own custom pad. So let me erase everything here, and then I'm going to place a hole with long pad. A real hole with long pad, one that comes with ExpressPCB. So let me get rid of these. I'll come back over here to hole and pad, come up here to hole with long pad, select that, and I'm going to put in a pad that is 0.1 inches by 0.1 inches with a 0.46 inch hole, and that is right there. Let's select that, and we're going to put it right here. Now I'm going to hit escape to deselect that pad because I'm going to change pad type. Come back over here to hole or pad. And now I want to place two circular pads that have a diameter of 0.1 inch. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to come down here, and it looks like the center of this outside is right about here. So let's place a pad right there, and then we're going to place a pad right here. I'm going to do escape. I'm going to select these guys. I'm going to put them on the top copper because that makes a little more sense. Okay. Now I have two pads, and as you can see, they line up with the outside of this pad. This pad is 0.1 inches wide, but it lines up, but it is actually 0.2 inches wide, and you can see that there are two 0.1 inch pads right here. Now I'm not going to add the trace, but you can see that in order to construct the long pad, we had to use the two circular pads. And when all is said and done, they occupy 0.2 inches of horizontal space. Now, if I increase the stock long pad to, let's say, 0.15, like that, and then come down here and select these two guys and increase them to 0.15, I have to move this one out a little bit. Oops. But again, you can see they occupy the same space. So I guess ExpressPCB Plus only goes by the size of the pads that make up the long pad. A 0.1 inch long pad has two 0.1 inch circular pads and one 0.1 inch circular pad spaced, however, making up the long pad. Now, why ExpressPCB Plus can't put the actual width of the pad into the description, I don't know. And again, as earth-shattering as this demonstration is, it does not affect your design. But now you know why a 0.15 inch wide long pad is actually 0.30 inches wide. And as usual, if I'm wrong about any of my assumptions on pads or the construction of the custom pad, let me know and I'll correct what I said. Now, next time we're going to discuss the More tab that appears on the width and height and diameter of finished hole drop downs. It's really cool and can be very handy. So we'll see you soon.